iHeart Podcasts. Hear more Gold 101.7 podcasts.
Playlists and listen live on the free iHeart app. Well, what a show today, Monday. I thought it went all right.
I thought it went all right. We spoke about one of the new ways that people are choosing to have their remains disposed of. It's called a water cremation. And you pretty much soak in some essence, get jilted from side to side and end up as a watery soup.
Meanwhile, Snowtown's going, hello, over here, anyone?
We tried it first.
We were first.
What about taxing a spare bedroom? If you're living with one other person or on your own and you've got a big house with a number of bedrooms, is it fair that you get taxed or that you also get some tax incentives to downsize? We'll put it to the pub test.
I can see a lot of model train rooms being set up in houses all over the country.
It's a train room, I tell you.
Ghislaine Maxwell, interesting developments with her getting transferred from maximum security prison to minimum security prison with hot and cold running crafts.
Well, this is the thing. She has spoken to the Deputy Attorney General. Very interestingly, he's a former lawyer of Donald Trump's. It seemed quite out of line that he went in there to speak to her alone, and you will be stunned at the things she has revealed about what went on in her association with Jeffrey Epstein.
You know what I love?
Tell me.
Infrastructure. And I like old infrastructure being made new again. Wallara train station. It's going to happen, apparently, according to Chris Minns.
Well, there you go. We go to the Iowa State Fair and the husband calling competition and ask you, via the tribal drum, how you signal your partner in the wild.
That's all in this podcast.
Everybody
Right now, by the miracle of recording, we had so many requests for them to do it again.
Mistress Amanda.
Miss Keller. Amanda.
Doesn't work alone.
Wow, this is fantastic.
Her friend is in a back room making the tools of the trade.
I've heard them describe him as a drunken idiot.
Sorry, I've been drinking beer.
The legendary pirate Jonesy and Amanda the actress.
Hello, Wiggles. Congratulations, Mandy. We're on the radio right now.
Jonesy and Amanda, you're doing a great job.
You have no empathy for anyone but yourself, you giant tool.
Now's the time to hear good radio.
Sorry, a bit of a tongue twist there.
What are you, an idiot?
Jonesy and Amanda are here.
It's showtime, a-holes. We're on the air.
Top of the morning to you, Amanda, my little black-shirted friend.
That's a jumper, but thank you. Did you think, like, it's not mohair or anything. It's not like I've got hairy shoulders. I'm just here in a boob tube, but it looks like I've got hairy shoulders.
Up against the black backdrop of the studio, it just looks like you're a head.
Just floating, like in one of those science fiction shows.
Like a mully grub. Remember mully grubs?
Unless my head in a jar. I could do the show with my head just being in a jar.
This could
kept
be
alive
a thing.
by fluids.
Did you have a good weekend, friend?
A lovely weekend. What about the sun came out? How nice was that?
Well, the golden orb came out. It was great. The footy was on the weekend. How did you go with your footy tipping?
Let's see. I'm having a look now because when I was watching the Roosters and the Roosters lost, I was really annoyed because the universe knew they were going to lose because the Dart picked the Eels. So let's have a look. The experts got 5 out of 8 right. Dart got 4 out of 8 right. So overall now, Smart has picked 12 winners. I picked 10 over the years, the year.
Just goes to show, doesn't it?
Not far behind, though.
Yeah, but
not
still.
far behind.
You know.
Since I started aiming and being better at it, I'm not doing as well.
Right.
Because it was the chaotic nature of it that gave me a chance. And now that I'm trying to aim and be correct, it's not going so well.
You're starting to sound like Des Hasler in a press conference.
It's none of your business. We'll talk about this. Isn't for that. This forum is not for that.
Well, it is for this right now. We're talking about it now. It's happening.
Isn't that what he said? He said this format is not
but that's
for
what I'm
that.
saying to you. This forum, this is the right forum to be talking about it. Look, the people are upset.
Who's decided that? Who's decided that?
Well, no one's going
This forum's not for that.
Yeah, it is for that. When it's not for
forum's not for that. How'd you go this weekend? Did the Sharks win the bye, Brendan?
It was a close
Never
run.
assume.
They won the bye quite successfully. They won it ugly, as the Sharks tend to do, but they won the bye. So we all slept well. It was great. It was a great weekend. I managed to get in the surf. I caught some waves. It was nice.
I should Google while I'm sitting here the ladder, shall I, to see. I think the Roosters are out of the top 8.
Yeah, no. Brian is nodding his head.
No,
Ryan with a B?
They should be number 8.
They should be number 8, says Ryan with a B.
Okay, let's have a look. Raiders, Storm, Bulldogs, Warriors, Broncos, Sharks are 6th, Panthers, Roosters are 8. You're quite right.
There you go.
And Brian's team, the Sea Eagles, 10. just to stab him a little bit on the way through.
I think Brian already knew that. He didn't need you to bring him up to speed.
You know.
I'm aware.
He's aware. Action-packed show today. M. Gillespie with That's Entertainment. Those Menendez brothers. We're going to talk about that. You know what? I'm kind of glad that guy's not getting out on parole. I think at the end of the day, he did kill his mum and dad.
Well, he did kill his mum and dad. It was the level of intent that I think he's being judged on in the history.
I feel that the universe has done the right thing there.
Yeah.
But
and you know how we've had this craze of people having eco-burials and things and being buried in cardboard boxes? I've heard of a new kind of cremation that I'll see if you're interested in. Not if you personally, Brendan, are interested in it. Because I've set it all up outside the studio.
Great. These radio stunts are getting beyond control.
And one of us is going to drive next year.
The fruited plains of drive. Muncie's Big Drive Show.
Muncie's Big Drive Show. You've seen how I drive. It'll be chaotic. Instagram
makes its return and we can't do anything until we do the Magnificent Seven.
Question number 1. What luxury item is Rolex famous for making?
Jam Nation. We have for you the Magnificent Seven. There are 7 questions. Can you go all the way and answer all 7 questions correctly? If you do that, Amanda will say...
Well, Brendan has said no to this elaborate equipment I've set up for his special cremation.
Sure.
Outside the studio. I'll give him more details a bit later on. He might change his mind when he sees what it is.
I thought it was a dunk tank, but...
Well, kind of is.
Dunk tanks are so 1998.
Rodney, remember the advent of the dunk tank?
The dunk tank.
Every TV show, every charity event.
Yep, there'd be a dunk tank.
You'd get Fatty Vorton sitting on a little platform, you'd throw a ball and he'd go into the water.
Fatty is doing it right now.
Yeah. So his wife set one up for him at home.
Got to throw something at him. Does it on Saturday night. Rodney's in West Hoxton.
Hi, Rodney.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Great.
Very well. Here's question number 1 for the Mag 7. What luxury item is Rolex famous for making?
Watches.
That's it.
What singing activity means empty orchestra in Japanese, Rodney?
I'll have to pass on that one. I don't know Japanese.
Well, it's a word you will know.
And the Japanese.
Think about it. If it's something that lots of people do. Empty orchestra. Have a think about what you'd be doing.
Greg's in Blacktown.
Hi, Greg. Are these clues helping?
Not really, but what was the question again?
The question is,
I'm going to throw chalk at you, Greg.
What singing activity means empty orchestra in Japanese? A singing activity that you do in public, empty orchestra, you know the word, it's what people do and they've had a few drinks if they're bold.
Karaoke.
Karaoke. Good on you, Greg. Let's play the not-so-secret sound.
Duh.
Greg, what is this sound?
Greg.
No, see,
that's the sound of the buzzer now, Greg.
That's the buzzer, Greg.
Maybe got confused because we still had our background music going over him. Maybe would that have confused him?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think Greg was just confused?
I think it just happened. It's just, it's this time of the morning. It just happens, you know. But life goes on, as John Mellencamp professed.
Jonesy and Amanda. Jam Nation.
Podcast.
The Magnificent Seven. We're at question number 3, the not-so-secret sound.
This is going to go to Craig in Camden South. Hello, Craig.
Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Jonesy.
Craig.
Craig, what is this sound?
An acoustic guitar.
Right
yes,
on.
It is.
What is the primary piece of equipment used by the Ghostbusters to capture ghosts, Craig? Is it A, the spectral vacuum, B, a proton pack, or C, a ghost blaster?
I think it'd be B.
Yeah, the proton pack.
Yeah.
And they put it
I'm in a
little
room full of nerds right now.
A little storage facility. And don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams.
Like
Question
when
number
you're at the
5.
urinal, Craig.
In case you unleash a trouser ghost.
Yeah, you don't want trouble there.
In the film industry, Craig, what's the primary job of the Foley artist? What does the Foley artist do?
He puts the clicker thing up.
No. Not the clapperboard, no.
It's the Clapper Kid. John's in Oyster Bay.
Kid. You never want to be called that.
Well, who's the best boy?
I think there's different layers of director's assistant, best boy. I think the best boy might be the Clapper Kid, unless best boy helps with the lighting, I'm not sure.
What about Key Grip? What does he do?
Well, he's very popular at a party.
John.
Yes.
Hello, John. Do you know what the Foley artist... We're going very well. We're up to question number 5. Do you know what the Foley artist does?
Adds the special effects.
He does.
The sound.
The sounds, walking on...
Yes,
gravel.
Harley used to do this when he was working in films. This is part of what he used to have to do. If you're walking, you see someone walking along in gravel, you're walking through a litter box or something like that, or you make the sounds of horses with 2 coconut halves, that kind of thing.
You know, David Berry, who came in the other day, he was in Outlander. He played Lord John Grey, but he demonstrated how they do kissing in the audible sense.
Demonstration, please.
Right now.
Please do.
Open mouth kiss with my own hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that one was too intimate.
Yeah, it's a bit too much.
Bit too much. Question number 6. In which Australian city would you find a building that was nicknamed the Toaster?
Which Australian city, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sydney?
Yeah, it is Sydney.
And we're looking at it right now. That's where Alan Jones lives.
Remember there was that big outrage when it started. It's the Bennelong Apartments now. It's that building right down near the Circular Quay, and everyone said, it's blocking everything. And then you just get used to it, and there it is.
It's fine. And, apropos of Alan Jones, he popped up in my feed recently doing something.
Doing what?
He was just doing some stuff. He was, he had a nice suit on. He was talking about something. Is he back on TV or radio or something?
I've forgotten where we are in the process. He's been convicted, or it's still before
I think it's still going, but you can still do other stuff.
Right, wear things other than the green tracksuit.
Yeah. He looked very stylish. Who won in the Cowboys versus Tigers game last night? It was a thriller.
Unfortunately, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Although, I'm presuming you're a Tigers fan, John?
I certainly am.
They played well, though.
And they got the new stadium coming, mate. Come on.
Oh, good, yes. I'll give it a crack.
Okay, well, good on you, mate.
You'll be about 158, but still.
They might win the premiership then. Congratulations, you've won the jam pack. It's all coming your way, John. $200 to spend at Bay Vista Dessert Bar. World-famous desserts at Bay Vista Parramatta and Brighton Les Sands. A double pass to the life of Chuck. Charles Krantz, a genre-bending, life-affirming journey. And Jonesy and Amanda caricatures for you to colour in some Staedtler pencils. I say, John, anything you'd like to add to this?
Go the West Tigers.
Yeah, go the Tigers.
The life of Chuck sounds like your description of every Saturday night you've ever had, Brendan.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
I like genre bending.
Of course you do.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Sam Nation.
Podcast.
Quiet, please.
Jonesy and Amanda, those are 2 great names.
Sorry, I've been drinking beer.
Thumbing through our Jarmanacker Big Book of Musical Facts. On this day in 1986, Paul Simon released his hit, You Can Call Me Al.
This was kind of his first re-emergence, wasn't it, after Simon and Garfunkel?
Yeah, well, he'd had a hit late in the evening. That came out 6 years earlier. It had been a while. Great song. This is when he kicked Garfunkel out and said, I can do this by myself.
Kicked out the Garth.
Yeah, it's a bit like Garfunkel, Simon and Garfunkel, Hall & Oates, You and Me.
Oh, come on. And, OK, let's look at it. You know I'm Hall and you're Oates.
No.
You know very well that I'm Paul
established.
Simon and you're Garfunkel.
You're just... No. Anyway, Paul Simon was at a party, and this is where he came up with the inspiration for You Can Call Me Al. He was at a party with his wife, Peggy, when a dude thought that Paul's name was Al and his wife's Peggy's name was Betty. And you can call me Betty if you can call me Al. You know that song? Yeah. And then he went on a trip to South America and met a band called Stamella, which sounds like a venereal disease, but Stamella sound like this. So Paul put it all together and he came up with this. That's how it happens, baby.
You know I'm Paul, you're Art.
Jam Nation.
Throughout the years, there have been ways of looking at different ways of disposing of human bodies. Obviously, in a tribal sense, that people have always honoured the dead body somehow. But in our Anglo-Saxon culture, pretty much we put a dead body into a casket, put it in the ground. Yep. The caskets have changed over the years. You can get Barbara Cartland, I think, was buried in a cardboard casket. People who want to be environmentally just go back to the earth with no big wooden cases left behind, etc. What about this? Do you think you'd be interested in this, Brendan? Because by and large, cremation hasn't changed over the years. This is a thing now happening in the States called water cremation, an increasingly popular method of managing dead bodies by dissolving them in chemical baths. Many choose it as an emotional lifeline and a gentler way to release those they loved from the living world. I'll tell you about the process. It's called alkaline hydrolysis, known more colloquially as water cremation. It's been gaining popularity in the States. Let's go through the details. Inside this particular funeral home in West Baltimore, a long silver chamber full of water, seaweed, flops back and forth over a platform. Within it, a body is dissolved. So it moves back and forth, it tilts, and the skin, the flesh and the organs are turned into amino acids and sugars with each tip of the chamber.
Right.
In a matter of hours, all that remains are bones and the leftover watery solution.
And what do they do with the watery solution?
I guess you just put it down the drain.
Or turn it into coconut water.
Death care professionals say that water cremation appeals to those who resonate with the idea of themselves or their loved ones departing the earth through water. Like maybe it's a burial at sea.
Oh, I like the idea of a burial at sea.
Yes. Would you rather be eaten by fish creatures or dissolved? I guess this is what would happen to your body in the ocean. You would gradually dissolve.
Sure.
It's a gentler process, they say, and it's a cleaner alternative to fire cremation.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of fire cremation. That freaks me out a bit.
Do you want to take up space?
I want to take up space.
You'd be buried upright on your bike and take up as much space as you could.
I want to be propped. I want all my motorbikes buried with me, and I'm in some sort of chariot. And they're all in front of me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need a big bit of space.
You're like those men who insist that their 9 wives jump into the funeral pyre. All your bikes are there. But it's interesting.
What are you talking about? My bikes or my wives?
As baby boomers start to move into the generation now who are, the older people passing away, this is why we're seeing these shift in things. I was interested to see that there's a new song that's become very popular at funerals. It's not always look on the bright side of life. It's this. The theme from Jaws.
Yeah, no, I know. I was letting it bed in. Really?
Yeah. The theme from Jaws is become more and more popular for people with their final farewell.
Do they play this as the casket's going into the kiln?
It'd be interesting if they play it and the casket tilts up and then just gets dragged under. You could combine it with a water cremation.
And then comes, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what I want at my funeral, I want this.
Crazy tasty. We're the sweetest.
2 dancing kiwi fruits.
Juicy. Crazy tasty,
I'll write it down so I remember.
It's a good collab. It's integration, man.
Jonesy and Amanda. Jam Nation.
Let's get on down to the Jonesy and Amanda Arms for the pub test. Today, taxing spare bedrooms. Does it pass the pub test?
Here's how it was described on the news last night.
A mismatch between the average size of households and the average size of a home is prompting experts to propose a tax on spare bedrooms. New research from Cotality revealed a third of Australian households is made up of just 2 people, while the most common property is 3 bedrooms. It suggested that a levy, along with the removal of stamp duty, may encourage shrinking families and empty nesters to downsize, freeing up supply.
So the composition of the home has changed throughout the years as kids move out of the nest and new norms are adapted by society. As of July 2025, 75% of homes are comprised of a couple or one parent with or without dependents.
Sure.
27% just live on their own, and most houses are built for the standard 4 to 5 person family. Because things are changing. The age we are now, we would in the old days have been retired, we'd have downsized, we'd have sold our house, we would be living in smaller accommodation, freeing up those spaces for the next generation to take over. That's not happening anymore. So we are staying in our houses longer with less people in them. It's interesting, we're not being forced. There's not going to be a bedroom Gestapo going around counting how many bedrooms you've got. But there may be tax advantages to lure you into moving on.
Well, they did this in England back in the olden days. They had the window tax. So how many windows you had in your house, you got taxed for those windows. So
when you say olden days, like the 1800s or...
Yeah, a long time ago. And then they started bricking in the windows. So I could see if this, and this is just a thought bubble, this idea, but if this happened, all of a sudden people are going to have a lot of rooms with train sets and gyms and all sorts of stuff.
It's not a bedroom.
Bedrooms anymore.
It's my sewing room.
It's my sewing
bedroom.
room. I don't know. What happens if you're one of those families that you got mum and dad and Denny, everyone packed into about a 3-bedroom house and there's 6 of you living in there? Do you get a rebate?
Interesting, isn't it? Because we are looking at ways to ease this housing crisis. What's it going to take? One of the problems is that we, as baby boomers and Generation Jones, are holding on to our houses longer than previous generations.
Go and give my house away to some kid so they could live in it.
It's called selling, Brendan, not giving your house away. It'd be tax.
Communist country now?
There'd be tax rebates to make it financially viable for you. You're not being forced to do any of these things. This is an idea that's just been mooted. What do you think? Taxing the spare room, does it pass the pub test?
We'd love to hear from you.
Jam Nation.
We're mass communicating.
The legendary pirate Jonesy and Amanda the actress.
Hello, Wiggles.
I always like new infrastructure. I'm excited about the Wallara train station. For many years,
Is it going to be reopened as a train station?
Minzy reckons it's going to happen. Chris Minns has said it's going to happen in 2027. So if you go back to the 70s, the Rand government, they completed that line to Bondi Junction from the city, the eastern suburbs line, and the Wallara station was always going to be there. And then it was decided it was going to be too expensive. So it was going to cost them $3.4 million, which is, laughable now. But that's worth a bit if these days. I don't know what it's worth.
So, but it's all there, and it's not going to. If they can do it, is that they're saying for the year after next to have it up and running?
Well, no, they're going to start building it in 2027. So
okay.
There'll be a bit of mucking around. I was just reading a newspaper article from 1976, the Battle of Wallara, one of Sydney's poshest suburbs. We don't need it, we don't want it, says the Preserve Wallara Committee, led by attractive housewife and former antique dealer, Mrs. Annette Proctor, and surveyor David Sulman. And so there was another lady, Lady Fradden, of Edgecliff Road. She wanted it to happen. So it's been going around for some time.
It is, but aren't they also proposing that a chunk of that would be used for space for housing?
Yeah. So they build you build it, they will come.
Infrastructure will all go around it.
And then young families move into the area.
Yeah.
I was just looking on Google Earth. There's a few tennis courts on that train track there.
Well, at least they're not race courses because that lobby would not let anything happen. Remember what happened at Rose Hill?
Exactly. So good luck with that, Minzy. I like new infrastructure. It's great.
Of course you do.
And it's like the Alfred's Point Bridge. You ever gone across the Alfred's Point Bridge? When they built that back in the 70s, they put the foundations down for the future of a new bridge. So it's foresight. I love this stuff.
Okay. Well, look, watch this space.
I know your eyes glaze over.
Instead of not in my backyard. Instead of not in my backyard, it's going to be not in my lifetime because this stuff takes a long time.
Well, I want everything in your backyard. I'm putting an airport in your backyard.
Okay, happy for it.
Jonesy and Amanda. Jam Nation.
Podcast.
Let's get on down to the Jonesy and Amanda pub test.
I want you to get up right now.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Go to your windows, open them, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell. I'm not going to take this anymore.
Today, taxing the spare room, does it pass the pub test?
It's not so much just taxing the spare room. It's offering incentives for people to sell their family homes and downsize. We're finding that 75% of homes are comprised of a couple or one parent with or without dependents. 27% live on their own. And homes are built for the standard to 4 to 5 person family, really. So this is a plan to, in a way, find ways and incentives to free up more housing for other families to come into the market.
Well, the government should stop mucking around with their red tape and holding back on DAs and just let things happen. Let developers do their bit, build more houses.
Build
like
more
they did
houses.
in the olden days.
But in the olden days, people our age weren't living in our family homes with adult children or weren't living in our family homes on their own.
Like for our parents, it was affordable sort of housing compared to what it is now.
But we're working longer, so we need to have somewhere to live. We're not retiring. There'd be tax incentives, as I said, like abolishing stamp duty, those sorts of things. How would you feel about this? Taxing the spare bedroom, does it pass the pub test?
I think it's ridiculous. There should be no taxing of spare bedrooms. It doesn't pass the pub test. By all means, incentivise empty nesters to downsize, but don't penalise people who've worked hard all their lives to get what they've got now.
Taxes, 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 and more taxes? Like, really? We pay land tax, we pay this, and now they want to tax us for a spare bedroom? I don't think so.
No, it doesn't. The government are losing the plot. Why give tax incentives for people to move out of homes? Use that money and build more homes. A tax incentive will only create rot, which will waste more money.
I don't have cash in the bank to give my kids to put a deposit down, but what I have is a big house, and they can live here as long as they need to, and I now have 5 adults in my home. We're using up all of our space, and that's what I can offer them. And I'm not about to downsize, because guess what? I'm still working, and I'm in the area that I've been working in for years. It's convenient for me, so why would I want to sell and downsize?
How dare they? You know, you've got what you've got. This is ridiculous. If they're bringing in more people than they can house, stop immigration. It's that simple. There's nothing racist about it. There's just too many people coming here for what we can put up with. We don't have the infrastructure. These government people are meant to work for us. What are they doing?
I agree with you, brother. I agree. I get a train set room. And
you've got a train set room, you've got a sewing room, you've got a walking around room, a gaming room,
the walking
around
sauna. Yeah, a sauna. A sauna.
Yeah, you've got a thinking room, it's the smallest room in the house.
Jam Nation.
Are there any questions?
Well, as we know, the White House, President Trump has been under a lot of pressure to release the Epstein files. Some are saying that's why there have been all these visits with Putin, etc., distraction. That's what the critics are saying, because none of the information has been released. Very interestingly, Ghislaine Maxwell has been interviewed by the Department of Justice, who've just released the transcripts of that interview. There's some cynicism, and I'm one of those cynical people around this. Her interview with the Department of Justice, I'll talk about why that was not the usual way these things are done. But in light of that interview, she's been moved from a high-security Florida prison for men and women to an all-female minimum security prison in Texas known for its arts and crafts programs. So her security has been downgraded. She has been moved to an easier prison, although the government is saying we are not promising anything to her. We're just asking her to be interviewed. So here's what's happened. She was interviewed by the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, a high-ranking Department of Justice official who happens to be a former personal lawyer of President Trump's. So President Trump, and no one would dispute this, has got rid of a lot of people from the Department of Justice who he felt weren't on his side. So this is no longer a separate entity to the Oval Office. This is almost an arm of the Oval Office. So the decision for this man, his name is Todd Blanche, to conduct this interview personally was widely criticised as highly unorthodox. Legal experts have said that this high-level involvement with no FBI agents or investigators is highly unusual and could undermine any of the evidence. There's no rigour around it. So they're saying that the lack of the FBI being present or sworn investigators undermines the reliability of this interview. Having such a high-level politician and a political appointee of Donald Trump's conduct this interview rather than career Department of Justice prosecutors or agents has raised concerns about potential political motivations. So let's put that aside and let's see what we've discovered through this interview, the transcripts of which have been released. It won't surprise you to hear that she did not bear witness or hear anything improper or illegal, no activity by any of the prominent people previously linked to Epstein.
Right.
How interesting. So she saw Donald Trump. She never saw him having a massage. She just knew he was friends with Epstein. She doesn't remember any other things. Bill Clinton doesn't remember him getting massages, nothing. Prince Andrew, all of that photographic evidence was doctored, etc., etc., etc. She said, I have never recruited a masseuse from Mar-a-Lago. I don't ever recollect doing that. Interestingly, Donald Trump himself has said recently he had a falling out with Epstein because Epstein was recruiting masseuses from Mar-a-Lago. one of whom was Virginia Giuffre.
That's right, the recently deceased.
That's right. So Maxwell says she has no memory at all of doing that. When talking about Trump, she says, I don't know how they met. I don't know how they became friends. I saw them together. I remember the few times I observed them together. They were friendly. They seemed friendly. Nothing untoward happened. So all the people who've been the high-ranking people, prominent people who've been accused of inappropriate behaviour are all, according to her, in the clear. This, of course, has outraged the scores of women who have told a different story about Ghislaine Maxwell trafficking them and the people they were expected to perform for. The family of Virginia Giuffre have said, we are outraged. The content of these transcripts is in direct contradiction with felon Ghislaine Maxwell's conviction for child sex trafficking. During this bizarre interview, she's never challenged about her court-proven lies, providing her a platform to rewrite history. They've also said this. If our sister could speak today, she would be most angered by the fact that the government is listening to a known perjurer, a woman who repeatedly lied under oath and will continue to do so as long as it benefits her position, her family said in their statement. So they said she is a monster who deserves to rot in prison for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
So this, once again, tries to make liars out of all those women who told the same story and had been vindicated with these convictions. And she doesn't think that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. That's the only...
What does she say about that? What's her take on that?
Well, she just said he does not kill himself. This was a failing of the prison system.
Right, okay. She's got hot and cold running crafts in Minsec.
Now I'm off to do some pottery.
Seems pretty legit to me.
Nothing to see here.
Let's move
on. Let's all stop looking, people.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation
Podcast.
Jonesy, Amanda.
It's not going to be a walk in the park. You have no empathy for anyone but yourself, you giant tool.
All this rain, though, my leader, the local news, is all squished up on the driveway and someone ran over it. So it's got a big tyre print in it. It's just a big pulpy mess now.
Do you read it?
I love reading the leader. It's great. Where else am I going to get my fix about e-bike kids riding through the mall or the local business awards? Who's going to win that? I'm never going to know. I thought it was Kathy from Kathy's Cheap Cuts.
Is that meat or hair?
I'm not too sure.
That's what the shop should be called.
Is it? Well, I'll never know because my wife, when she drives up the driveway like Broomhilda, she's run over my leader.
Oh, no. Oh, you'll never know if it's meat or hair who's going to win this year.
I can't be bothered going online to read it. I just wanted to, I want my local, I'm tactile. I need it.
Jonesy and Amanda. Jam Nation Podcast.
I saw a social media post on the weekend that said, the fact that middle children are going extinct is the most middle child thing I've ever heard.
It's true.
And this is true. Middle children are dwindling. In the 70s, it was common to have 3 or 4 children. Today, almost 65% of women with children only have 1 or 2. So the middle child is becoming increasingly rare.
Mm-hmm. You're from a pair?
Yep, I've got an older brother and me, so I don't know the middle child thing. Is it true that middle children, if you've got 3, factions appear?
Yeah, maybe. Well,
There's always
3.
pairings off.
We've got 3.
You've got 4?
No, I've got 3 kids.
Oh, I thought you meant you were from a family of 4.
Well, you know, I've got 3 of my own kids.
Yes, and do you find that factions
were raised
appear?
with 4. I was the eldest. That's great. The eldest is great. You're king of the world. You're king of the castle. The youngest is good as well because you get all the stuff when everyone moves out and the parents are a bit more lax about things like drinking and borrowing the car and all the stuff that they used to crack the whip on me about. My youngest got away with more than I did.
Well, your daughter, Romany, is then the middle child.
She's the little Marsha Brady.
Well, that's
Jan.
the thing.
Oh, she's the Jan.
The most famous middle child was this one.
Marsha.
Jan.
There are common stereotypes about middle children that they're considered to be neglected, therefore resentful. They have no drive. They have a negative outlook. They feel like they don't belong. The middle child syndrome has often been written about. Do you think your daughter has the middle child syndrome?
Well, no,
was she the needy one?
She's sandwiched between the boys, though. So there's 2 boys and a girl. So I think that works out well. So she gets a lot of attention.
Right. Yeah, because in popular culture, and I don't know because I didn't grow up in a family where there were three, and I've only got two sons myself, they were always seen as the ones who were always whinging.
Yeah.
Like Jan.
Yeah, like Jan.
I'll tell you what the problem is. You have to wait in line for everything around here. Someone's always borrowing you things. I never have any privacy because I've got too many brothers and sisters. I wish I were an only child.
Oh, yeah.
Was that an episode where things went wild
They
and
all
she was an
disappeared?
only child?
Yeah,
I'm
and then
guessing that's where that storyline
Dressed
went.
up in sheets and chains to scare people from buying the house.
Yeah.
I remember
it's
rightly.
haunted.
Or they
It's
joined the clan.
haunted.
I can't remember. The Brady Bunch joined the clan. One of the darker episodes.
And one interesting social advent if middle children do disappear, but also we're facing the end of cousins. They're talking about the concept of changing families also includes the great cousin decline.
Right.
That family trees are no longer wide, they're tall because there's less branches. People are having less children, so there are less cousins, less offshoots to the family tree. In the 70s, the decline in cousins from the average of 7 cousins in the 70s to 4 or 5 now. So cousins are declining, and what they think that means is that even though cousins aren't necessarily the foremost relationship in your life, we used to get a lot of advice from cousins because they didn't have the emotional pressure points that it would if you got advice or sought help from a sibling. So cousins were important.
Unless you're Lebanese. My Lebanese mate, he's got 1 million cousins. 4 of them are panel beaters.
Well, aren't you lucky? The way you ride your bike, that's very lucky.
Jam Nation.
I demand entertainment. Are you not entertained?
Put on your dancing shoes.
Now give me your best shot.
The editor of the Daily Oz is Em Gillespie, and she's here with everything Menendez brothers.
Well, Eric and Lyle are back in the headlines. The Menendez brothers, who, in case you forgot, somehow murdered their parents brutally in 1989 in their Beverly Hills mansion. The case has been back in the media over the last year because there was a Netflix show called Monsters that came out last year, a dramatization of the events, but really kind of brought the story of these brothers to a whole new generation. And since then, there's been this big legal push to get them out of jail. And we had these parole hearings over the weekend, and much to the shock of the global community, I think, they were both denied parole. They've been denied parole for another 3 years, so they're going to be in jail for probably at least another 3 years.
So how many years does that make that all up now? It's 30.
They went to prison in 1993.
Yeah, so
that was a hung jury, 1996. So 30 years they've had.
Wow.
Guys. Yeah.
And the reason that they've up for parole is that new evidence through this documentary, no one has said that they didn't murder their parents, but there were validating reasons. That's what came up in the documentary.
So there was some new evidence, like some letters that emerged alleging abuse by the parents towards other people, because there was always this concern that the boys had lied about physical abuse, particularly by the father. Then other people came forward and said they had been abused, and that kind of strengthened the self-defense argument. But we've also heard a lot over the last year that, you know, Eric and Lyle have really rehabilitated themselves in prison, that they've been these upstanding kind of members of the community, that they've been involved in outreach mental health programs, and that they're real leaders within prison. But we heard through these parole hearings a bit of a different story that maybe doesn't paint them in such a positive light over the last 30 years. Eric Menendez in particular was refused parole because of frequent rule violations, including drug use and physical altercations. He's openly admitted to using heroin since being incarcerated. He was found with tobacco and marijuana in his cell, a lot of contraband offences, a lot of mobile phone offences. Both of them have been found with mobile phones several times over the 30 years. Eric was involved in frequent fights and violent incidents. He was also found with prison wine and supplies to make prison wine and substance gatherings. So he held little kind of weed smoking parties in his prison cell, apparently. And this is one of the standout infractions for me. He was found in abuse of excessive physical contact during visitation, cited for intimate contact with his wife in the prison chapel while his then 9-year-old stepdaughter was present. So that's some misconduct. There was a visitor assault and some other kind of other assaults.
They all blend in. So hang on. So they were in the church.
Mm-hmm.
So he married her outside of, because he would have been in jail.
No, they got married afterwards. So
that's what I mean.
Yeah, they became prison pen pals, I suppose, and then they got married.
Because women love that. Some women love that stuff.
Yeah, they
Guy
do,
in jail, because I don't think it works the other way around for men. Men don't do it so much for women, although you probably would because the woman's always in jail.
Yeah, it does end up being kind of that narrative. Lyle, though, was also denied parole for lots of conduct and contraband missteps, persistent cell phone violations. He was actually banned from having family visits for 3 years because he had so much cell phone possession, drug involvement. He has gang affiliation, apparently, in prison. He's joined a bunch of gangs. So there's all these kind of pictures that have been painted in these hearings of kind of these men who really haven't rehabilitated themselves during prison, that have been naughty boys, which goes against the image that their lawyers have been portraying, which is, that they're fully reformed and that it's time for them to be released. They're both in their 50s now and they've been in prison since their early 20s. They were 18 and 21 when their parents were murdered. But yeah, there's this sort of all this abuse of authority that's come to light. Their lawyer, meanwhile, will shock you to know that he has denounced the hearings as rigged. He said that the Department of Justice and the Attorney General's office have rigged all of this as a big media show and that they haven't fully taken in the evidence of their rehabilitation. So the strategy is to kind of discredit the hearings. There's still the chance that they'll be released on a clemency appeal by Californian Governor Gavin Newsom. He could override the decision, but that looks extremely unlikely now that we have all this evidence of their behaviour over the last 30 years. The board did recommend that Newsom undergo a 120-day legal review, so there'll be a bit of a kind of inquiry, I suppose, into these findings and their conduct over the last 30 years, and then there'll be a final sign-off from Gavin Newsom in a few months. But I'd have to say it's not looking good.
Maybe you should be on the parole board. They're very naughty boys and they should stay in for the rest of their lives. Thank you, Em.
Thank you.
Em Gillespie there, editor of the Daily Oz.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Damn Nation.
Podcast.
Doing it for the gram right now.
Who wants some free money?
Instant.
Coin cash.
Moolah.
I like the sound of that.
Jonesy and Amanda's
Instagram.
Rocking the suburbs, 10 questions, 60 seconds on the clock. You can pass if you don't know an answer. We'll come back to that question if time permits. You get all the questions right, you win $1,000.
You can make it $2,000 by answering a bonus question, but it's double or nothing. You risk it all.
Vinny, what about Vinny last week? $2,000 on this very day.
His name is Vincent.
He's Vinny
not
to
Vinny.
me.
All right, Jonesy.
Emma is in Leppington.
Hello, Emma.
Hello.
Hi, Emma. How old are you?
I'm 14.
14. Well, you're probably in the drop zone of knowing more things than adults do because you're in the learning, you're soaking it all into your head.
You know a lot of stuff, Emma.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Come on, Emma.
Well, let's see how you go today. We've got 10 questions, 60 seconds. What you do need to know that is if you're not sure, say pass because we might have time to come back, all right?
Yes.
Emma, good luck because here we go. Here comes question number 1. What's the name of our station?
Pass.
Question 2. How many children do I have?
2.
Question 3. Suzuki, Maserati and Honda are types of what?
Cars.
Question 4. How many inches are there in a foot?
12.
Question 5. If you're in the Barossa, what state are you in?
South Australia.
Question 6. What type of fish is known as the chicken of the sea?
Pass.
Question 7. Who composed the Moonlight Sonata and Ode to Joy?
Beethoven.
Question 8. What's the most expensive spice in the world?
Pass.
Question 9. Victoria is famous for making what?
Pass.
Oh, it was coffee. Victoria makes coffee. You did well, Emma, but let's go back over some of them. The name of our radio station?
WSFM.
Oh, it used to be. As of this year, we're Gold FM.
Gold.
And I reckon you would have got the type of fish that's known as chicken of the sea.
I'm not sure.
That was tuna.
Tuna fish.
Tuna.
And the most expensive spice in the world was saffron. Have you heard of saffron?
Oh, yeah, saffron.
Yeah.
Or,
Emma, you
or
did
Posh
really-
Spice. She's very expensive.
Posh Spice is the most expensive of them all.
Emma, did you get a bit of teacher vibes from Amanda going through your work there?
I'm not going to make you pick up papers at lunchtime, though, Emma.
Good on you, Em.
Thank you.
You'll have to
Thank you for playing,
Go and
Emma.
do an emu parade. All over Sydney.
Jam Nation.
The Iowa State Fair. We always hear in Australia about the state fairs in rural America, and they sound like great events, don't they? That's where you meet boys and you know, it's like the Easter show, I guess.
Right.
And there's boot scooting and there's sideshow alley and there's corn on the stick and all that kind
There's
of
a
stuff.
lot of stuff on the stick.
Well, what about this on the stick? They have a competition called husband calling. And men, if I know anything about men, they love it when women use a shrill voice to beckon them. Have a listen to these women competing to win the husband calling competition.
David! David! Stan! Stan! Stan!
Some of the comments underneath this have been interesting, and they say there's no such thing as white culture, said someone. Another person said, I love being a lesbian.
Yeah, my wife doesn't yell out anything to me at all.
Doesn't she? Does she not never need your attention in any way?
No. I do remember one time I was with your husband and yourself, and we were at a shop, one of those places in one of those small towns. It's one of those antique shops where you're wandering through looking at goods that no one's going to buy. You would not buy these otherwise unless you're in this small town. And Harley whistled at you to get your attention. He went like that. And the look of rage on your face. I looked at Harley and I said, mate, I'm glad I'm not getting that look.
Yeah, I
Because
said,
in what
don't
world?
ever whistle for me again. Whistle at me, sure.
Yeah,
going
if it's
past
a
the
wolf
building site.
whistle, but-
To whistle at me, don't ever do that again.
But all Harley did was say like that.
Yeah,
to
that's it.
get your
Like,
attention.
what am I, a border collie? No,
That's it.
don't do it. Don't do it.
It's when you're in a spot, like you're at Bunnings or something like that, you don't want to yell out at your wife, so I just ring her on the phone. Like, we sometimes go to Bunnings together. We've become one of those couples.
Right, you'll be into dancing before you know it, where you wear matching clothes on a Saturday
Rock and roll
night.
dances on a Saturday night.
Yeah, that's right.
No, not boot scooting. That's a bridge too far for me.
But line dancing, you'd love it. Well, the tribal drum is going to beat for this. How do you signal your partner?
Yeah, right.
Do you whistle at them? Do you go, David?
Well, Friends Vows started calling each other mum and dad.
No.
Yeah.
No. But this is not...
And it's like when they decided to go into Amway, we had to shut it down.
Of course you did.
We
But this isn't
said,
what
okay,
you call
you're gonna
them in
lose all your
private.
friends.
This isn't what you call them in private.
when you're
This
out-
is how
out in the
you
wild.
signal your partner out in the wild.
Yeah, when
how
you're
do
in
you
the wild.
signal them?
Yeah, what do you do?
Send up semaphore, send up flares.
I don't think the whistle's so bad. What about a coo-wee? Coo-wee.
That's better than a whistle. A whistle is how you get an animal's
You
attention.
do that, though, you'll have a bunch of Boy Scouts coming straight towards you.
Well, some people might like that.
Might not be a good thing in this current climate.
Jonesy and Amanda. Jam Nation podcast.
The tribal drum is beating How Do You Signal Your Partner When You're in the Wild?
Stan, answer us, Stan.
Stan, please.
Hello,
Jenny has joined us.
Hi, Jenny.
Hello. Marco.
Oh, yeah. Paula.
Is that his name?
No.
Oh, Jenny.
Polo?
Yeah, well, that's
Polo?
the thing. But I
Jenny,
imagine
yes.
if your husband's name was Marco and you'd call out Marco, everyone in the whole
Yeah.
shop would call out Polo.
Unfortunately, no, not a Marco.
Right.
But there you go. It works better with my daughter, but we do find each other eventually in Bunnings.
So you're in Bunnings and you yell out Marco.
Absolutely.
And they respond to that. Do they call back or they just know where you are?
Sometimes I get a giggle, a laugh. Sometimes I get a phone call. Shut up.
Mum, I'm going to wait in the car.
And how old's your daughter?
30.
Oh, 30. I thought you were 30. Yeah. Still prime in embarrassment.
Yeah, we use it all the time, especially in Woolies and Coles and Bunnings.
That's just great.
Thank you, Jenny.
Peter has joined us.
Hi, Peter. Do you do the calling or are you the one who's being called?
I've just about given up on that. My wife now has hearing aids, so unless you're standing in front of her, waving your arms madly or throw something to get her attention, no hope. And then if you raise your voice so she can hear, she says, "Stop yelling at me."
Yeah.
And I'll say, "Have you got your hearing aids in?" "Yes." "We'll turn them up." But I surrender. Just given up on it.
You've been living a separate life ever since. There's nothing also more patronising than saying, "Have you got your hearing aids in?" Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Gee, our audience is young today.
I know.
Well, 135522, if you're under the age of 1,000, we'd love to hear from you.
People can have hearing loss at any age, Brendan.
Oh, okay.
I dream of it in here sometimes.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation
Podcast.
Brendan and Amanda, and you're on the same show.
How about that?
Let's start wearing lipstick.
This is fantastic.
The Ohio husband calling event has been run and won. The tribal drama's beating. How do you signal your partner when you're out in the wild?
Oh dear. Hello, Karen.
Karen.
Oh.
It's a call passed down from my mother.
Right.
And so she used to call you like that?
Yes, she calls all us kids use it. Yeah, that's how she used to use it on my dad, like if we were out and about in the shops. And I do it for my husband. If I can see him and he's walking away in the wrong direction, then I'm... And he just sort of stops like a deer in, headlights, and he just turns around. I'm like,
and there'd be no derision from any other shoppers, nothing.
Has he lost the will to live?
I know.
Shoulders slump, turns around.
Yes, dear.
Janice has joined us.
Hi, Janice. How do you... Hi. Oh, I thought you were making the noise. How do you communicate in the wild?
You whistle.
I whistle.
Yep.
To your husband?
Yeah, I whistle wherever I am, whether it's shops, out the street, or anywhere. If he doesn't hear me, I call his name, so I just whistle, and he hears me, turns around, and he comes where the whistle is.
He comes back like an errant pet.
He comes back. yeah, but there's no other way I can get hold of it. He doesn't hear me.
You're right, so you whistle and he
I
just
think it's
comes
probably
back.
selective deafness,
Yeah,
I
right.
think, that kicks in.
There's a lot of women ringing up and saying that men don't whistle at women unless they're working on a building site and Sydney Sweeney walks past.
I think men pretend they can't hear their wives, but then when she starts whistling, they know other people can hear it too, and then they have to turn around.
Tanya has joined us.
Hi, Tanya. What do you do?
Hi, Jonesy and Amanda. In the shopping centre with my husband, and if I can't find him in Woolworths, I just call out Big Willie.
Well, you just say Big Willie.
Yeah. His middle name's William, so I just put Big in front of it.
Right, so you just yell out Big Willie.
Yeah, he gets very embarrassed because everybody's staring at him. His face goes bright red.
Of course. I'd like to get you on the PA. Big Willie.
Big Willie required in aisle 4.
Yeah,
you don't want a red spot
true.
special.
Tanya, thank you. No men called up about this, unless your husband, the time he whistled at you.
But a man called up. Remember, was it Brian we spoke to who said that his wife's deaf?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Pretty much get out the semaphores.
Thank you for all your calls.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation
Podcast.
This is something to ponder if you're going to get your morning cup of coffee. So what are you paying for your coffee now when you go to your coffee hut or your coffee van?
Well, I'm not much of a coffee drinker, but I think sort of what's the standard coffee? Between 5 and 6?
But between 5 and 6. Over in West Australia, they're paying between $7 and $8.
Are they? Why is it more expensive there?
Got a lot of millionaires over there, the FIFO situation, they're all mining, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you feel sorry for people who are on regular wages there because rent and everything else is jacked up because of that.
Yeah. So there's word that we could be paying up to $12 within 3 years for a cup of coffee.
Is this why is the coffee bean so much more expensive?
Well,
is it because of climate change?
No, it's got nothing to do with climate change. In fact, they're burgeoning because of the climate. coffee. It's just that
Then why is it getting more expensive?
It's getting more expensive because there's an explosion of small espresso bars with low overheads, and the traditional cafes are shutting because, no one's going in there for their big banana bread and their coffee anymore.
Well, then if there's more competition, why isn't it cheaper?
Well, because the big coffee shops. So if you go to Big O Coffee Shop-O, then it's going to cost you more. But if you go to a little one of those little, like your cafe, but those food truck vans, they're pretty expensive.
I'm
like
confused.
To run. Don't be confused.
Okay, I won't. And now I'm not. If there's more people selling coffee and we have more options,
but there's
why isn't there more competition and why aren't they cheaper?
Because of the espresso bars, but they're hard to find. Unless you've got a man bun and your name's Tarquin.
And so are the espresso bars the expensive ones or the cheap ones?
The espresso bars are cheap because they're not paying the overheads.
Right.
But they've got to make a bit of money out of this. Most businesses were currently operating at a 4% profit margin while charging an average of $7 to $8 for coffee with milk. I don't know what the derision costs, all that dismissive way they ask your name. I think
how they deliberately spell your name incorrectly on the cup. Mark with a C, Kark.
One of the greatest. Mark with a C. Kark. I'm going to start drinking tea.
Jam Nation.
Everybody shout. Come on now, sing out. It's time for the Ghoulies get together.
$20,000 for our favourite ghoulie of the year.
What have we got today?
You know what gets my ghoulies? Head lice. Kind of hatched yesterday on a Sunday when I'd have all day to deal with it and send him to school on Monday, lice-free. No. Monday morning, 5 minutes before we walk out the door to school. Lice. Head lice. Hooray. Happy Monday.
Yeah, they're going to bring back the good old formulas that we had when we were a kid.
Kero.
All this woke stuff they got now. It's all,
I'm so glad we're out of that phase.
Nice of people to get the strong stuff. That stuff was Kero, pretty much, as you said. Or shaven bald. What else have we got?
What gets my ghoulies is when you're waiting at a roundabout and somebody pulls up to the roundabout, they don't have the blinker on until they're halfway around the roundabout, then they put their blinker on. That gets my ghoulies.
Yeah. Or your stalk gets confused on your car when you go around the thing, and you've got your wheel a bit turned.
Oh,
and
I thought you meant stalkers in a bird that was delivering a baby.
No, your blinker stalk. As if you know what that is.
What?
Out with the bad and with the good. If you dipped out, contact us via the iHeartRadio app. It's 7 to 9.
Our favourite caller, email or Facebook friend wins a 2-night stay for 2 at the Moxie Hotel. This makes travelling so easy. It's an effortless hotel stay, free airport shuttle and award-winning design.
I dropped off someone at the airport. I've forgotten who it was. And I had something to eat there and I was so impressed.
Well, we played Instagram today. 10 questions, 60 seconds. Get them all right. You walk away with $1,000. Double it for a bonus question. 14-year-old Emma from Leppington had a go, but she struck the name of our station.
Pass.
Then she came back.
Well, she came back when we had more time, and here's what she said then. The name of our radio station?
WSFM.
Yeah, and you put that on top of Monica last week.
Question 2. How many years has this radio show been on air?
Oh, 50.
Are we having some sort of identity crisis?
The station is called Gold these days, and we've been on air for 20 years. Though some days it feels like 50.
Amanda for now.
Righto, you two. That's enough.
Higo is here. He's excited. Look at his little face, because if we gave you $10,000 to spend irresponsibly in one day, what would you do? I'd give it to the government. They could blow it, no worries. But this is for you.
Absolutely.
10K in one day.
Blow 10K in a day. It starts next with Higo.
We'll be back from 6 tonight for Jam Nation.
See you then.
Good day to you.
Well, thank God that's over. Goodbye. Goodbye. Wipe the tears, baby, from your eyes.
Catch Jonesy and Amanda's podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Catch up on what you've missed on the free iHeartRadio app.